This week's episode is sponsored by the Rewire Team. One day Rewire specialists. Find them on Facebook or Instagram. Just type in the Rewire Team and give them a follow. Thanks. Hello everybody, welcome to the Billy Moore podcast, and today's special guest is heavyweight UFC fighter Tom Aspinall. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing alright, thanks. Just enjoying me coffee from me pink cup that the lovely lady made us down there. Yeah, I'm doing good. You'll have to bear with me a bit today because I've just been wrestling a Lithuanian male for the last 2 hours. So I'm pretty tired, but
Strong, was he?
He's a big guy, he's 6'10".
Yeah.
He's one of me
6'10"?
Yeah, he's one of my main training. He makes me look small, yeah, he's one of my main training partners. He's so strong, so bit tired today, but I'm doing alright.
Yeah, well, me and you both. First thing this morning in the gym myself, get here.
Have you been wrestling a Lithuanian man as well, or?
No, I've been wrestling my mate Aaron.
Right.
No, we don't wrestle. Them days are long gone. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you were born into a Polish-English family back in the 90s, weren't you?
Yeah, I was born in 93. So I'm 28 now. Yeah, I was born in Salford actually, but I was raised in a place called Atherton. Now Atherton, it's a bit of a weird place. It's like not many people know where it is, and no one really wants us. So it's got a Wigan, it's 01942, so it's a Wigan landline. But it's Greater Manchester. But people from Manchester would say who wasn't from Manchester, and people from Wigan would say who wasn't from Wigan. So it's a bit of a weird place, but it's just like a blue collar place. You know what I mean? Yeah. So everyone works in factories, garages. That kind of stuff. There's not many people who are lawyers and have great jobs.
It'll be like the equivalent of Widnes.
Hold on a minute. Oh, it's not that bad. No, it is. It's just a blue collar place. You know, a lot of people. Yeah. There's not much ambition there. I don't want to say it's a bad place where I'm from, because it's not. There's a lot of good people there, and people do have ambition. But the general thing is either you do a blue collar job, like you're a. If you're a plumber or a builder or something, you're doing really well. Yeah. Most of the jobs are factory jobs and sell drugs, take drugs. A lot more over the last few years I've noticed, smackheads and stuff like that, knocking around. So
there's a lot of drug dealers.
Yeah.
See, it's getting worse, isn't it?
I think so. I don't know if I'm just noticing it more now because I'm getting older and got my own kids and stuff like that, but a lot of the time I'll be walking through Atherton Centre, which I've walked through there millions of times, and I get the feeling of I don't want to be here a lot of the time. And like I say, I don't want to say anything bad about my town because it's my town. I love it. Yeah. I love the people from it and stuff. But I don't know. It just seems to be getting worse. I don't know if that's just me noticing it more or what.
Yeah, I think over the years, where I grew up in Speak, and what it is now, it's just changed. It just changes. Different generations, different kids growing up and doing different things, and it makes you look back on reflection and think, whoa, fucking hell, it wasn't like that when I was a kid. You know what I mean? It was bad, but it wasn't as bad.
I don't know.
Now.
Do you not just notice it more, when you get a bit older?
Yeah, you're more aware, aren't you? Things are a bit more. You're more observant, and I find that to be true.
Definitely, but it is on the up though, Atherton. They're trying to do a lot with it at the minute. I notice built a load of new bars and stuff like that, and used to just be rundown pubs where you could go and have a scrap on a Friday and Saturday night, and now they're trying to do it up a little bit. So they are having a go. Hopefully it'll get.
So you're talking about ambition. It's a town. It's a town, isn't it? Yeah. With lacking ambition. So what motivated you to get involved in mixed martial arts and UFC?
So I started training through my dad. My dad started doing jiu-jitsu basically when jiu-jitsu came into this country. So I started off.
You're black belt in jiu-jitsu, weren't you?
I am a black belt in jiu-jitsu. My dad's one of the pioneers of
was he? Yeah.
UK jiu-jitsu. Yeah, he's been going forever. So he basically started doing jiu-jitsu when it came to this country in early 90s, late 80s, something like that. So I've always been in and out of martial arts, you know what I mean? It's always something that I've enjoyed doing, obviously. And you know what? When I was younger, especially, I wasn't a very confident person. I'm a pretty timid guy, and it's weird because I've just always had this self-belief. I don't know why. Probably through my dad and the people around me telling me that I can do it. Don't know if they just convinced me from a young age, but I just always known that.
But wasn't he training you from the age of 7?
On and off.
I read somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you can read different stuff. Not all of the stuff is true, obviously, that's put on the internet. But you know that from reading different stuff. But yeah, I started martial arts when I was like probably 7 or 8.
Yeah.
But I've always just like been in and out of it. Do you know what I mean? I started it seriously when I was like in my teenage years, like 14, 15. That's when I started proper training and thinking, you know what? I want to do this for a job. I could kind of see the people around me in the older generation and what they were doing, and I just thought, you know what? I don't want to do this. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be average. I want to be like, and I still believe, I believe now more than ever that, you know, I'm in the top 10 in the world now.
Yeah.
And I believe that I'm going to win a world title. I truly believe it, and I've believed it since I was that big. And I don't know why that is. Like I say, I don't know if that's because my dad kind of drilled that into me and instilled that confidence into me from a young age, because I've never like really been a confident or cocky person. It's not really my character.
I think what's attracted me to yourself and what I've noticed is your humility. You know, you're quite humble.
Thanks.
And that's being shared and that's being noticed and observed. You know, although you're confident in with what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I've always been like, I'm getting more confident now as I'm getting a bit older and stuff.
Yeah, you will do.
Like when I was in my teens, I was pretty, and younger, I was very shy.
What was that like growing up? Like I mean, I know what it's like to be growing up feeling vulnerable and quite timid and shy. I felt really like myself. I mean, I had to pretend a lot.
Yeah.
That image and to fit in, so I know what it's like not having that integrity.
Yeah.
You know, you're acting like someone, but inside you feel like really like. Whoa.
I don't know if that's why I started enjoying martial arts so heavily, because it's kind of awkward as a person. Kind of didn't. I don't know if I didn't fit in or I just felt like I didn't. I was always trying to battle to get in, and felt like I was getting respect by
fighting.
Yeah. I've never been into like street. Obviously, I've had scraps and that over the years. Probably got a losing record street fighting, to be honest with you. So I'm not much of a street fighter.
So have I, lad. Don't worry.
But
well, a champion street fighter.
Yeah, it's not my thing, that. But yeah, I just felt like I got some respect by, I don't know, getting good results and beating people and doing the rest of it. Or at least I felt better about myself. I don't know if that was to other people as well, but that's how I felt.
I think growing up anyway is awkward for everyone, you know, especially teenagers, you know, and having your hormones all over the place and trying to find out who you are and what you want and what you like and where to go in life, and then being rebellious and not getting told, you know, not liking getting told what to do and stuff like that. Did you ever find that like you were more of a loner or isolated from everyone?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit, but not like, you know, I always had like a good group of mates and stuff like that. It's never been a victim of like bullying or anything. Obviously, I've had bits along the way, but maybe I did feel a bit like, I just felt like I never really fit in, and like martial arts was kind of my thing. When I went down the gym, none of that kind of mattered really. It was just like I'd just be in the gym working and doing my thing, and I just feel like it just helps massively with your mentality is when you've got a goal or you've got a fight coming up. And even now, like these days, I feel like, I've said it on a few interviews and stuff, I feel like I'm a better person like when I've got a fight booked, because everything is like in order then. Do you know what I mean? I wake up, I know exactly what I've got to do that day. I know exactly when I'm going to see my kids and my missus, and exactly when I'm going to do certain things, and everything is just perfect. And so now
everything just fits in.
Yeah, whereas now, like between fights, I'm a bit lost really, to be honest with you. It's like,
I don't know that feeling, mate.
Yeah, I'm a bit like, I'm all right now, but it's been like a few weeks. But when I first come back home from Vegas, it's like, right, you win, you're on a bit of a come down, and then it's like, what do you do with your days? So I just spend, basically when I'm in fight camp, I do like, obviously I train religiously, recover religiously, get me physio religiously, and do all that stuff. And then when it's over, I want to do all the stuff that I've been missing for the last 8 weeks. So I'm just all over the place, and then that's when I start feeling like, shit, I'm a bit out of sorts, you know what I mean? I'm a bit unreliable, and I don't really know what to do. So now
you get addicted to comparison, don't you? Because you're comparing yourself to, so you know, and it's like a culture shock, because you're living this life of culture of like, training, dieting, all the nutrition, everything's disciplined and regimental. You take that away, and it's like for me as a kid, when I boxed and I fought and I won and I was on a high, and then we were left to our own devices. We were kids. There was breaks during the boxing period, so we were left like, what do we do? There was no youth clubs open at that time, and there was nothing we could like get involved in. So what happened for me is like I've always said, there's like bad company corrupts good character. I ended up like getting curious about this, and then girls came on the scene, and then drugs, and then I started like not going as much. So you've got to have some kind of like discipline, haven't you? Even in them breaks, how do you cope with that?
Not very well. No, I do. You know what?
That's tell the truth, man.
I've got 3 young kids and a missus, and if I didn't have them, I don't know what I'd do. To be honest with you,
you've got a big family for a young man, haven't you?
I do, yeah, I do. I had kids early. I had my first kid when I was like 23.
Wow.
And then I had twins when I was 25
twins,
or
so
6.
So this is like 3. So what ages are you?
My oldest one's 5.
Wow.
And my little ones are 2.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, to be honest, if it wasn't for them, if I was single now,
I
don't know where I'd be, to be honest with you, because you have 3 fights a year.
Yeah.
That's 8, 60, 24 weeks training. And obviously you train in between that as well. But you don't have to be as strict in between them 24 weeks. So then you've still got the rest of the year to do basically whatever you want. And what would I do in that time? I don't know.
On your own?
I don't know. I don't know what I'd do. I have no idea.
And I'm kind of in this. I agree with you on that, because like I've got a little boy now. With he's 18 months. I know it's fucking waking up to shitty nappies and having it's. But I love it. I love the life that I've got.
I'm the same. I don't know where I'd be without him.
And exactly. And I never had that before, so I was all over the place. See, you know my story. I was like, I went to 22 different countries in 18 months, right? To travel the world searching for something, and it was all the way back home. It was always there.
Yeah.
People saying, I'm trying to find something there when I could have cultivated the grass under my own feet. But that was just because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no focus. I had no discipline, and I was lost. And when you're lost, you can be lost for a long time.
Yeah, I'm very lucky really that I do have that set up, and
that family unit.
Also that my extended, like my mum and dad, they're very supportive of me as well. So I don't think they, and my brother, that like they wouldn't let me go too far off the rails anyway. And not that I would. It's hard to say where I'd be. I've got friends who I went to school with. We're just like every other young lads, and that we'd be drinking when we're 14. We'd be going out. We'd be scrapping on a weekend and doing whatever. And now I'm 28, so I'm double that age, and they're still doing it. Obviously, they're not going down the park. Yeah. They're going just down the pub. But rather than school, they go to work in like basically a dead end job, and they go down the pub after work. And it's just there's nothing changed, and I just think.
There's no excitement or
ambition.
You
must be like, so I don't know if depressed is the right word, because everyone thinks they're depressed these days, but it must be it must feel
soul destroying.
Yeah, it must be a bit soul destroying. Yeah, and you think, where are they going to be in another 14 years? Are they just going to be doing the same thing?
Yeah, and he probably will be.
Yeah,
but he'd be going to the social club instead of a boozer.
Definitely.
And that's and it's good that you've got that awareness, and you can see in hindsight that that's not where you want to go, and you've got more ambition.
Yeah,
you're going to become a world champion. I believe that. I've had a few. Have you been a bit of a party animal through the years?
I have partied, obviously. I do still like to party, yeah. But I've got control over it pretty good. When I was single and didn't have kids, I would still have to train the next day, and I've always been hungry for that. Do you know what I mean? I'm just hungry to be the best constantly. Do you know what it is? Not a lot of fighters will tell you about this. Is I constantly live in fear of my opponents. Whoever, right now I don't have an opponent, but whoever I'm going to be fighting next is going to be training smarter than me, harder than me, better. They're going to be doing something better than I'm doing. So I constantly live in fear of that. And these days it's like I went out last week. Was it? I went out last week and the week before. So the week after I got back and the week after that. And I don't want to miss a day with my kids. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll stay out. I'll be out till 12, 1. And I just think, you know what? I don't want to be in bed all day tomorrow. I want to get up and do something with the kids. Yeah, it's just not worth it for me anymore. Don't get me wrong, I like a drink, I like to party like everybody else, but the kids and my missus, they just, that's my thing. And the training as well. Like, I don't, even if I went out all day Saturday and all night Saturday, I ain't going to be able to train on Monday. I need to train. Yeah. Like I say, I live in fear, and the fear is what keeps me going. Not a lot of people like to talk about fear. I don't know why. I love fear. Fear's my thing.
See, there's a lot of acronyms with fear. You could say face everything and recover, or fuck everything and run. I got told this years ago because I was like, for me, fear was something I wouldn't admit, but was just tormenting me for years. It followed me. It was like a shadow. The fear had me reacting differently to people instead of responding. You know, and I had to go through a whole process of learning how to develop that. You know, and for me, getting in the ring in Thailand and fighting was a way of overcoming my fear.
Yeah.
It was a way of, I've shared this many times, like I could deal with the opponent, right? I couldn't deal with life on life terms. Take me out that ring, put me in a relationship, and I was emotionally immature. I couldn't cope, and that was only because of my history of like drug addiction and how that suppressed the emotional growth. So fighting was easy. You could put a plaster on, a cut, and you could heal a broken arm, but you couldn't mend a broken heart. That was so get in. I'd always have that anxiety and that fear. I remember my first fight as well. I'm like, fucking hell, this Thai kid, you know what I mean? He was solid. And I didn't want to get involved in the grappling because they said, don't get too close, them knees and them elbows, you don't. And I was a boxer. I was never a Muay Thai fucking combatant, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like, I'm going to box you. But I enjoyed it, and yeah.
That first leg kick must have been painful though.
Do you know what, right, I'm telling you something now, right? That when that first kick hit me in the back of that leg, the lower kick, the sciatica nerve, and it was a shock. Right, but it was rapid. You'd done the first one and then the second one straight after. I thought, if I get another one of them, I'm on the floor.
Yeah.
And it was like, my fucking leg was in bits. It was black and blue. Just took a step back. And that's how I learn. Yeah. To get hit and it hurts, move away.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Kicks, they're just so devastating, aren't they?
Yeah.
I've had a bad knee for 3 years. I've not been able to kick for I threw a couple of kicks here and there in my fights, but I've not been able to kick in training for 3 years because of my knee.
Yeah.
And it's finally now getting better. And yesterday actually was the first day I sparred and kicked. We wear shinnies, we wear shin pads in sparring. So you can kick one another, but I've never been kick heavy, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yesterday I thought, you know what, I'm going to test the knee. I'm going to throw a few kicks.
Yeah.
And I dead-legged my sparring partner, and I thought, you know what?
Did you stuck you, put you on your ass?
I could have took out so many of my fights earlier if I could have kicked them. And now my knee's on the mend and stuff, and my next fight, hopefully, touch wood, someone's going to get kicked really hard. So, no, I've been throwing them in my fights a bit.
Yeah.
But it's hard to throw my confidence if you don't train them. Do you know what I mean? If I'm kicked for one day, my knee will be swollen bad after it, so... Now it's finally on the mend. I got myself a good physio and stuff. So I think like wear and tear on the knee over the years, especially training. And I've done a lot of weights and I've done a lot of boxing and you know, been bouncing up and down on that knee. So I've had surgery on it as well. So I struggle. I have as well.
I struggle myself. It's a flaw.
Yeah.
In my training abilities, but yeah, I loved all that. I loved all that. The adrenaline and the feeling. So have you ever been? You know, what about your knees and your elbows? You don't get involved in all that?
In what throwing knees and elbows? Yeah. Oh no, my last fight I finished him with a knee followed by an elbow, so it went pretty good. I can do everything, mate. I've just not got a chance to show it really. It's not that I can't. I don't feel like I'm behind in any kind of area. It's just I've not really had a chance to show it. That's all. There's a lot of stuff that I can do, and people think I can't do it just because I've not had a chance to do it. Do you know what I mean? But I'm looking forward to surprising a few people.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to you surprising a few people as well.
A lot of people think I can't wrestle very well and stuff, but that's only because I've not wrestled in my fights. I took former champion Arlovsky down and finished him in 5 seconds. So he doesn't get taken down very often. Yeah. If you watch I watched all his fights. He doesn't get taken down very often, and I managed to take him down and finish him in 5 seconds. So I've definitely got the wrestling.
You've got the skills there, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, my dad always says actually, and I agree with him, is that I'm the best finisher in all of MMA, and I think he's right, because when I've got you finished, it's over. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna finish you. There's no two ways about it.
Is your dad Polish?
No, my dad's English.
Is he?
Yeah.
So where did the Polish English?
Well, my missus is Polish, and I've got some Polish in the family and stuff, and my kids obviously are half Polish and all that kind of stuff.
So they're big hombres, but they're really strong hombres, aren't they, the Poles?
My dad's a good Goldman. He comes from mining roots and stuff like that. He's just a solid old-fashioned guy. He's a smaller guy. Obviously I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
And he's like 5'7", 5'8", and he's got one of the weirdest body types of anyone.
He's had.
Yeah, he's got like a really strange body type, man. Like, he lie on top of you and he feels 20 stone. Do you know what I mean? He's got like a sharp. It's really. I never experienced. Like, I've trained with hundreds of people. Never experienced anyone with like his body. He's got like a sharp body. It's really, really odd. Anyone who's trained with him will know exactly what I mean. But he's got like feels really heavy on top of you, and he's like bony and just odd to train with. But yeah, the guy he's just got that old school like miner mentality. It's like small town, blue collar, just working class. Like,
and he reckons he's the best finisher going.
I think he's right. I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but all my fights have been.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate. You might as well, because everyone else is, aren't they? You know, it's like there's a lot of you need to be out there and have a little bit of fucking showbiz about.
But I'm never gonna. I do like the showbiz side of stuff if people are genuine with it. You know, if that's genuinely them.
Do you see a lot of like false?
I wouldn't do it personally unless I felt like. Unless it was genuine, you know what I mean?
I think some people that do all that grandiose shouting out is like they're really insecure.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time, I feel like I can see, like as a fan, I can see straight through it when someone's not genuine with it. You know, you get people like Conor McGregor, not these days, like in his earlier days, and he was really good at it, like he was genuine. And it's the same with smack talking opponents. If I've genuinely got a problem with my opponent, I'll tell him. I have no issues with that. The issues that I've got is like making a fake problem. Like, I'm always going to be. I get a bit uncomfortable these days because people keep coming over and saying like, "Oh, you're so humble" and all that, and I'm like, I'm not trying to be humble. I'm just being myself, and I'm always going to be myself. I'm never going to like try and hype up a fight for no reason. No. If I've got like I say, if I've got an issue with the person, I don't have a problem with telling them.
Well, you know, she like I read a lot. And I read a lot of Oscar Wilde, and he talked about humility. You know, no one can give you humility, right? It's got to arrive from within. It's got to come from within you. It is what it is, right? So it's not like you're pretending to be humble or you're acting as if, like you just said then. You know, I'm just being myself. Well, that's you. That's your personality. That's your humanness, and that's your empathy and humbleness, right? You're not the big I am, but you make big impacts when you do things, which is nice.
It is, yeah,
incredible.
For sure. But I don't want to get this label on me like, oh, he's humble, he's a really nice guy, because
Gentle John.
Yeah, I'm not like that all the time.
Get angry.
Sometimes I'm a dick. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want everyone to think, oh, you know, he's like that, because I'm not. I have bad days as well. You know what I mean? I have bad days the same as anybody else.
Every day's a fucking bad day.
I'm not in a great mood though. I'm not in a great mood and humble the whole time. Sometimes I will be a knob.
No, do you know what? Right, I had a great guest on the other week, Mark Scano, and he helped me a lot in some areas.
Awesome guy.
Mark, he was sitting in that same seat you are now, and it was an incredible interview. I haven't put it up yet, but it was more about you just see. You know, the work that he put into himself. It was beautiful to experience that. And that's what's really attractive. You know?
It's not attractive to everyone, but you know what's attractive to me is someone just being themselves. Yeah. That's few and far between
real,
these days, isn't it?
Being real, authentic.
Yeah. Whereas Mark, he's a great guy, isn't he? Like, I've known Mark since I was like 10 years old. And he's like a family friend. He's known my dad forever and stuff. And like I say, especially these days, he's putting it out there, isn't he? The way that he has, how can I say it? He's putting it out there how he's become the way he is at the moment. And I like that, you know what I mean? Because I can learn from it. Yeah, and that's what I learned a lot from him, and a few messages. And I feel, and I said this to him before we began, I always feel anxious before I do an interview. Oh, really? And I'm pretty good at, as soon as I'm on a roll, I'm in it. It's just, I preempt stuff, and then I think about things, and what the fuck. So take a couple of deep breaths, Bill. You know, breathe out slowly, and I felt a lot better. Yeah.
It was so simple as that.
Yeah. Well, you didn't come across anxious before.
No.
Not at all, not at all. But
I get well.
A lot of people say that about my fights as well, because, like I said a minute ago, I have no problem talking about fear, and I am so nervous before my fights. I am so nervous, and a lot of people say, you look dead calm in there. You don't want to get in there. I am calm. I'm completely calm. I can see everything these days. But beforehand, it's not enjoyable. It's not enjoyable. Every time before, I think, what am I doing? Yeah, I'm sure you've had it as well yourself.
Yeah, it's the butterflies, and that's the fear. You don't even recognise that. For me as a kid, I didn't recognise it. People say you got these butterflies, but for me, I was terrified. And I thought to myself, I need to put this kid down, because if I don't put him down, he's going to put me down. I'm going to get hurt.
Yeah.
And this was the way I had to deal with things. So yeah, I can identify with that.
No, I'm exactly the same. But
so talk us through a few of your fights then. Leading up to this Vegas.
Which ones do you want to know about?
So you've had 2 losses, 1 submission, 1 loss.
Oh, well,
one disqualification.
Yeah, well, I didn't lose that one, but
I try not to
avoid it. Yeah, I try and avoid. Speaking about, I've never spoke about it in like an interview or anything before, but while we're in like this setting, I'll tell you about it. Because usually they're like pretty quick interviews, even when you do like a media day. They want you in and out, do you know what I mean? They want you for 10 minutes, and then it's like, right. So what happened was, I was with this, I won't even mention the promotion's name. I was with this promotion, and I was a young kid. I was like 20, something like that. Just starting off my career. And at the time, the heavyweight scene in the UK now is shit, really. Like, it's shocking. There's not a lot of heavyweights around. At the time, there was a lot of heavyweights, and they were all on steroids. All of them, pretty much. But it's kind of died off now, heavyweight MMA in this country. But, so they matched me up with this fella, Stuart Austin, and I had no experience at the time, do you know what I mean? He probably had I think his record was something like 10-1, 10-2 at the time, and I had 3 fights and run through everyone quick, or 2, I think I had 2 fights and run through everyone pretty quick, and I just didn't have no experience. He beat me, sweet, happy with that. If I can lose 20 times and say, right, that's sweet, whatever. And I learned a lot from it, do you know what I mean? I come back and I went on a run after that, and it all went well. The fight after that, they wouldn't give me another fight, so I was still contracted with them. They wouldn't give me another fight. And I was mithering him for ages because I wanted to get out of my contract so I could fight more often. I wanted to avenge my losses and start going on a bit of a run again. And like I say, I was a young kid. I was like 20, 21. And they gave me this guy, this Polish fella actually. And at the time, he's older now. His record was something, bearing in mind at the time I was 2-1 or 3-1, something like that. He was something like 15-2, something like that, all knockouts. So obviously my coaches and management and stuff was like, you don't want to have that fight. But I was like, I want to fight, let's do it. So anyway, we fought. Long story short, I got dropped bad in the first round, really, really bad. Recovered from it. Ended up, obviously, I actually won the round even though I got dropped really bad. Recovered. Battered him in the second round. I can't remember if it was the second actually. It was either the second or the third, but I was winning the fight. The only thing that happened is I got dropped really bad.
Yeah.
Took him down, got on top, and I started, I was mounting him. So I was on top of him. It's hard to explain. So, do you know what a mount position is? Maybe the people watching won't, but
it's like mounted a few things,
yeah, it's basically what it says on the tin. What it says on the tin.
Stand mounting something.
Yeah, so I'm on top of him. His head's here.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm elbowing him in the head, and the 12-6 elbow like that. It's illegal in MMA, but his head was here, so the top of his head was here, and I've elbowed him. I split his head wide open here, and the ref pulled me off. Right, ref pulled me off. Said stop the fight. So I'm buzzing. I've won. Happy days. He's got caught. He's bleeding everywhere and stuff. I don't like to go into it too much because I don't like to give these people glory. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm doing well now. They've but you have asked me, so I'll tell the truth anyway. So I've elbowed him. They called a stop to the fight. Anyway, they disqualified me for 12-6 elbows, which if I threw a 12-6 elbow, I have no problem saying, look, I was in the wrong there. Do you know what I mean?
Took ownership if it was you.
I did. If I was to throw 12-6 elbows, anything illegal, it would have been straight after I got dropped. Not when the fight is essentially over, because I'm on top of an elbowing anyway. So there was no warning there. He didn't say, like, don't throw this at the elbow or anything like that. So anyway, it's come to the decision bit. It disqualified me. I've lost. So I'm like, where was the warning? Do you know? You never said that I'd lost. He just pulled me off like I'd won. Anyway, going back to the changing rooms after, on the way back, my dad starts arguing with the ref. All the bouncers jump on my dad. And then all of my mates and people watching me run down from the stands started fighting with the bouncers, right? And needless to say, a few people got hurt, do you know what I mean? Anyway, the ref later admitted that he was wrong, but said that he wouldn't overturn the decision because of the violence after the fight. And I got sent the video. The video is clear as day. Like, I'm still not, like, this is years ago, so I'm way over that now, do you know what I mean? The video is clear as day that I didn't throw anything illegal, but I'm not allowed to put it anywhere because of legal reasons that they've put against because of that. But this is all in the past, you know what I mean?
So that technically wasn't a loss?
Like I say, I come back from a big adversity in the fight. I was a young kid. I was coming off a loss, and if I was to throw anything illegal, it wouldn't be when the fight is almost over with me winning, do you know what I mean? That if I was going to throw anything illegal, it's when I would be losing, do you know what I mean? Obviously. But yeah, that's all in the past anyway, and I know what happened myself.
So you've won your last 11 on the run, haven't you?
I've won, I don't know if it's 11, I've won a lot on, I don't know how many it is.
See,
to
it's
be honest.
different from boxing because, like, you know, what I've noticed is I don't know much about the UFC or the MMA kind of stuff, really. Yeah, and I should. You know, I had a little word to Jordy about that, and he said to me, "Did I ever any experience in it?" No, I don't. You know, and I think he wanted a little chat about it, but I didn't. So I'm going to kind of learn a little bit more, and I do as I do interviews with guests.
Yeah.
See, you don't seem to have as many fights, do you, in the UFC
No.
as you do as like professional boxers do?
See, I think I've actually had a professional boxing fight.
See,
well.
yeah, one fight, didn't you?
Yeah, I had one fight. Yeah, I won. But the model between boxing and MMA is completely different. Like, see, the thing with MMA is, it's like, if you go like 2-0, for example, you're not going to fight someone 2-10. Like, it's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? If you're unbeaten, you're going to fight someone else unbeaten, or someone else. If you're 2-0, you're going to fight someone else 5-1 or 4-1 or 3-0 or, excuse me, or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's not. You don't, like in boxing, it's like you have 20 fights. This is what annoys me about boxing. You get these lads thinking the superstars 20-0, and they've never actually had a fight yet. No, they've had one fight.
Yeah, there's loads.
Like if you look at Joshua, for example, I don't know how many fights he's had. Let's say 25. He's only really had about 5 fights, really. Like from when he fought Klitschko onwards, really. Before that, who's he fought? Do you know what I mean? There's no.
Yeah, but it was like that back in the day. It was like the Dark Destroyer and Nigel Benn, where they were fighting. See, I remember when Nigel Benn was knocking everyone out.
Yeah.
And then you put him in with a contender.
Yeah.
You know, and he struggled with Watson, and you know, and he struggled with Ben. It was just, you know, with Eubank. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. It's an odd. Like I love
elite,
boxing.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I absolutely love boxing. Like as a sport. I can't watch an Eddie Hearn show or a Frank Warren show anymore. No. Because you look through the card and you know who's going to... Like, that's not sport. That's not a sport. Like, if you're watching football, you might have, like, Liverpool against Bolton, for example. You know that Liverpool are most likely going to win. But Bolton can still pull it out the bag. Yeah. Whereas with boxing, it's like... Obviously, the journeyman can still pull it out of the bag. But it's like 95% that one guy's going to win. And that's just not sport for me. You know what I mean? I want to see 2 guys who are trying to beat each other. That's what it is. I want to see 2 guys who are trying to knock each other out, not one who's trying to win and the other guy's trying to survive. I'm just not interested in it.
So is that why you kind of called it an ending to your boxing career, or was that just
a few reasons to be honest. So I started boxing because my dad is good friends with the Fury family, like the good friends of like my family. So at the time I was struggling for sparring. So my dad rung up Peter Fury, who was training Tyson Fury and Hughie Fury at the time. Still trains Hughie to this day, but and he just said, "Have you got any sparring for Tom?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Come down next week," or whenever it was. I was a young kid. I must have been 22, 23, probably just after that disqualification, something around that time anyway. And I went down the first day I went down and sparred Tyson Fury, the first time I ever went. So I kept going. I was loving it. I was really enjoying it and stuff. And what kept happening was I kept having MMA fights cancel on me. Like, it's quite a regular thing in UK MMA. It's struggle for heavyweights. Like, it's really hard to get heavyweight fights. So I would train for a fight, they'd pull out, it'd get cancelled, or it'd get moved. And Peter Fury said to me at the time, like, why don't you just have try boxing for a little bit? Like, you're pretty good at it. Like, crack on and just focus on boxing. So I said, yeah, we'll do. Long story short, I didn't realise you had to pay your opponents out your own money. So I didn't want to do that. Yeah. Also, I just found it a bit, I wouldn't say boring. Boring is not the right word. But when you used to see MMA, it's like you punch one another and then you can kick one another and then it just keeps flowing like it's free. You know what I mean? I like the freedom of it.
The mixedness.
Yeah, it's like, right, yeah. If you're getting battered in the stand-up, you can take someone down.
Yeah. And
see what they're like on the floor and you get an advantage there. Whereas boxing, it's just quite like monotonous of just punching one another. It was like sparring a couple of times a week, pads a couple of times a week, running, and basically that was it.
Well, what was it like sparring Tyson Fury then?
Oh, that was brilliant.
Was it?
That was. He actually changed a lot of things for me. I've not seen him recently because I'd actually like to tell him personally. I was with his dad last week.
I was with his dad as well last week, John.
Lovely fella.
Brilliant.
What a guy. What an absolute guy.
He is, mate. And we had an evening with him, and it was incredible.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
I sold him a car years ago. I had this old Merc. It had like 200,000 miles on the clock nearly. I sold it him for 300. I was going to scrap it.
Yeah.
I think you could scrap it for 200. He went, I'll give you 300 for it. I went, go on then. This was like, must have been 7 or 8 years ago. He still got it. Anyway. Yeah, I'd like to tell Tyson. He spends a lot of time in America. I don't really see him that much these days, but he completely changed my mindset to fighting. Just being around him regular, because I used to take fighting really serious. Like, that was like life or death. And again, having kids, that's a big difference for me. You realise how small fighting actually is, I think, when you have kids. It's not really, it's just a sport, you know what I mean? And Tyson used to take it. There used to be big, when I first went, there was like big black American guys who were in. And they were just trying to take his head off, do you know what I mean? They were trying to kill him. And he wasn't bothered. Like, he'd slip a punch and go, oh, that was close, you know what I mean? He'd just be having a laugh. And I'd be in there like, I had a bad training session yesterday, right? Really bad. Like, I nearly got knocked out in training yesterday. I got caught with a big shot, and it happens sometimes. That would have ruined my whole month, that before. Whereas now it's just like, it was a bad day. Crack on again and do another session today, whatever. Yeah. And he never taught me that, but being around him and seeing what he was like.
You know what? See, Tyson Fury, mate, he's just fucking unbelievable. I mean, that fella can take a dig, get back up. Yeah. And finish the contest winning.
Yep, he is special.
Yeah, he is special. I've never seen nothing like that. I've seen him get put right down and just like, well, that's it, mate. He's over. Not getting up for that.
Yep.
And then he's up and he's just fucking punched holes in the fella.
Do you know what? I think it's his mindset that sets him apart from everybody else.
Yeah,
because
it's and see, and I believe that to be true. And I believe that's what you've got going on with yourself.
Yep.
You know, you believe.
Yep, it sets me apart from everybody else because what I've realised is fighting and training, although they're similar, they're actually different entities, I think. Fighting is one thing. Training is something not completely different, but quite different. See a lot of like gym fighters. I'm the opposite because this is my take on it is fear. That's my difference. Yeah. You can bring a guy in the gym and he will batter me from pillar to post in the gym because I'm not scared in the gym. You know what I mean? I've sparred millions of rounds. It doesn't matter. If I get battered in the gym, I go home and no one knows about it. If I get battered in a fight, when I fought Arlovski, it got 2 billion views. There's 2 billion people that have seen me get battered. I don't want that. I'm scared of that. I don't want it. So that is the difference between
2 billion people watching.
Yeah, that's what they said. Is overall platforms. Obviously, if you look at YouTube videos, it won't be nowhere near that. But I mean, with the TV, the illegal streaming, they count that as well, and YouTube and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's a third of the planet.
It's a lot of people. Yeah, it's a lot of people. But that is definitely the difference for me. Is I don't spar very well, But I can turn it on in a fight, definitely, and it's all in the mind, that. And I think that's what a lot of beginners need to understand is your training is extremely important, your discipline and the effort that you put in the gym is very, very, very important. I'm not like discrediting that at all. But you need to work on your mindset as well, because that's when I started doing good. And it took, maybe it did take a couple of losses, even though I only lost once, as we just talked about. But I think that helped as well, because you realise, you know what? The world keeps turning when you lose. You get up and you crack on. It's just another day. You know what I mean? Not everyone's that bothered. And a couple of wins, everyone's forgot about it anyway. You know what I mean? You just gotta see it for what it is, and it's just a sport. And not many people can do that, I don't think.
No, and I think it's important that, you know, when you're in that mindset and you're separating yourself from the rest of, you know, the population, so to speak, you're focused.
Yep.
You know, there was always something within me. I know that I went down the wrong path in my life, but there was always something within me that knew I was better than what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I thought, you know, only I can change. No one can change for me.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, no matter if it was a girl or it was the police, the probation or the prison officer or anything telling me, I had to make that decision. You know, and I had that mindset, and I had to be willing to go to them lengths, and that's what I did. And I get a lot of people going, "Oh, how'd you do it? How'd you do this? How'd you do that?" Look, just keep fucking moving forward.
Yeah.
You know, you talked about it earlier on, ambition, motivation, driven, mindset. This is all what you need. You know, you don't just wake up one day and go, right, the car's going to pull up and I'm going to become a fucking superstar. You've got to fight for that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Really go for it. You know what I mean? So this is, you know, and I like your attitude, I really do. You know, I don't know, you kind of shy away from the word humility and humbleness, and it's something that's being put on you because of the way you don't kind of like react like everybody else. You know, you won. Was it 50,000?
Yeah, I've won it 3 times. I've won.
How's that, mate? How does that? So the last time you won it, right? It was in red. You know, how upsetting it made you.
Yeah, it makes me upset because you know, I just want to. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's hard when you're fighting because people don't really see what I've been through. A lot of people who are even close to me don't know what I've been through, and I've been fucking skint a lot of the time. And it's not all about. I'm not really a person who's like flashy with money. Do you know what I mean? I just want to get by. I want to provide a comfortable life for myself and my family, really. But there were some days where I'd be fighting and I'd be getting 500 quid for a fight against a really good guy. And some days I'd have to choose between, and this is not an over-exaggeration, do you know what I mean? I'm not like doing a sob story. I don't want anyone to feel bad.
No, tell it how it is.
Some days I'd have to choose between putting petrol in my car to go to the gym and buying nappies for my kids. And that's the truth of it. That is the truth of it. Like I was skint, and sometimes I'd have to borrow money. You get a lot of people borrowing money. People who are drug habits and all the rest of it, and the older people money. And like I still owe my dad money to this day for stuff that I need just to go to the gym and train. Basically, do you know what I mean? And luckily, I've got a lot of good people around me who believe in me, and not everyone has that.
Do you know what? This stuff's important because it's real.
Yeah.
You know, it's you know, we don't know. People think that you're on the TV and they see you, you know, all over social media, and you know that you're fucking loaded. You know?
No.
It doesn't work like
Definitely
that.
not.
I've read 2 books. They've had a movie made about me. Right? I am fucking absolutely skint.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm the same. Fucking nappies or fucking petrol for the car. I've had days like that.
It's tough, and people, like you say, it's good now. Like I'm getting good money now. Do you know what I mean? But that is kind of a back payment for the last 10 years plus that I've been doing this basically full time. And like I say, I've had 4 UFC fights, 3 50-grand bonuses, which is a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? As on top of what I'm already getting as well. It's a lot of money, and I really I value that money a lot. And it's not. Doesn't mean I'm going to go spend it and get loads of nice watches and cars and all the rest of it. It just means that I can be comfortable and my family can be comfortable. But it's weird with me, like the more I get, the more I want. Like I want more of it. Like I want a bonus every time because I don't want to have to live with like money stresses anymore. I want the people around me to be happy as well, and I want it to be worthwhile for everyone, because it's not just me who's been in this thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, my dad's been through it with me. Well, both my parents have. My brother, my missus has been through it, and there's some days when I've given up on myself. Do you know what I mean? I've not wanted to do it.
Yeah, the financial insecurities
It's tough.
Can be a big thing.
It's tough. I mean, obviously, as I said to you a minute ago, I've got 3 kids. When I had my first kid, everyone was like, no one actually said it to me, but I got the feeling, And when I found out I was having twins, I kind of got the feeling everyone was like,
judging you.
What you actually going to do for money? You can't just be dicking about doing this thingy, like thinking you're going to get money from this fight and stuff. You know what I mean? And like I said, I had a lot of problems. I should have had a lot more fights than I've actually had. Yeah. I've had a load of pullouts over the years, and it was like I get 500 quid for a fight, and I wouldn't fight them for 8 months. You know what I mean? I'd be doing training camp to training camp. I'd have a pullout, and I wouldn't fight anybody. And then I got like a lot of people would be like, are you going to like get a proper job now? And I'd be like, no, because I believe that I can actually make money from this stuff. Like I said, luckily I've got my family around me and people who actually believe in me and like, look, you actually can do it, like keep doing it. And yeah, I just feel really lucky in that regard, because when I found out that we were having twins, that was like a big thing for me. I was like, man, I need to.
3 kids, still at such a young age, and and still with there's not many people that are still in that relationship with the partners.
Oh, do you know what? I'm really lucky because I found the one early.
Yeah,
like she is the one, and that's it.
I think it's quite sad, really, that there's a lot of relationships that have broken down, and there's kids, left in the middle. Yeah. See, I've got a little boy along with my partner, and I don't say it enough, but I do love the bones of her. Yeah. I'm not a big fan. I don't know why, but I'll let him. But yeah, I could not imagine not being in his life, not waking up and seeing his face.
Yeah.
Or, being one of those dads. And I'm not putting this down to any, fathers out there. There's situations that you can, that are out of your hands. But for me, I feel it's important to be there on site with him.
I agree.
Nurturing him, speaking to him.
It's weird you should say that, because when we were in Vegas, there was I think there was 7 of us. And fair few of us had like little kids, like small kids like me. Excuse me, a bit gassy off that coffee. I don't know what she's put in there, but
18 mils of methanol.
We were all saying one day, we sat there and we were in the Venetian, which is like a big hotel with casinos in it and all that. It's like, it's beautiful, ran with people and everything. And we were just all sat on this bench saying like, fucking hell, I can't wait to go home and see the kids. Do you know what I mean? Like, I hate being away from, like, I hate being, like, even though I'm going there and living my dream and, like, say, getting a lot of money for it and winning these fights and doing brilliant, like, I can't wait to be home for the kids. Like, as soon as that fight's over, I just want to teleport home straight away. Yeah. So, and I think, I do agree, like, it's not as important to other people. Like, I see other people and they're not really, it's not that they don't love the kids or anything, but they don't prioritise it as much as... I'm not saying I do, but people I know, like a lot of my friends, they're really involved, like with the kids and stuff, and it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Do you know what it is for me? I accept that. I feel really fortunate to be this young boy's father. Yeah. And to tell him that he's loved, because for me, that's what I missed growing up. I mean, it was different with you. Your dad, you had a great relationship. For me, it was really different, and I had never had that nurturing and that love and that. So what I was missing and lacking, I give to my son, because I don't want him to feel the way I did and go down that path I went, and I don't know what path he's going to go down, but I hope that if he does go down whatever path he goes, that he goes, what, my dad, did love the bones of me, and he cared about me.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I'm an old dad, to be
I don't know. How old are you?
I'm 48.
Oh, it's not that old though, is it? I actually seen you with
you were 21.
I seen you with your kid actually in it's about a year ago, probably, in Bold Street. In a restaurant in Bold Street, but I didn't want to I just left you to.
You should have said hello, son.
I think you had like a high vis coat on, like a high vis jacket. Were you working or something?
Yeah, I think. It was just after pre-lockdown. Or,
something around them lines. Yeah,
didn't want to get knocked over.
It's nice though, isn't it, Bold Street? I love spend a lot of training in Liverpool, don't I? So like I spent a lot of time up here and stuff over the years, and I really like Liverpool. Like, it's a nice city and stuff.
Move here, lad.
I don't know about that. I don't know. To be honest, although I didn't want to slag it off. I do like where I'm from. You know what I mean? I like the small town thing. It's a good like community and stuff. And I want people where I'm from. I'm not trying to be like a motivational speaker or nothing, but I want people to believe in themselves and believe that they can do stuff. Do you know what I mean? I was saying on the way, I was on the way to Vegas last time. I was showing a few of the lads like, there's a group on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook or nothing. It's called Atherton Resonance Group. Basically, they just report like robberies and burglaries and say what's going on. Like such a shop's open, this is closed, you know, all shit like that. And like if a bus stop gets smashed, which happens pretty regular, stuff like that, just for example, it'll get 300 comments and 1,000 likes, stuff like that. Someone wrote on there, like Tom Aspinall's just been to Vegas, beat former champion, and he's now like top 15 in the world or whatever it was at the time. And it got like 5 likes and 2 comments and something like that.
Why?
But yeah, I just want people to know, like, just because you're from, not just Atherton, anywhere, you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? You can, anything you put your mind to, you can do it. Just because no one there has done it before you, you can still do whatever you want.
Well, you were classed in Vegas as an adopted Scouser by the sound.
Yeah, they keep doing that. I don't know.
There was you, and then you know you had Darren Till, Paddy Pimbley, and Molly McCann.
Yeah, they keep doing that.
And I felt, you know, well, where's Tom and all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
How did you feel about that, Tom?
Nothing against Scousers.
I don't know. I thought you were a Scouser.
No, they always announce me from they say like fighting out of Liverpool, England, but that's obviously because I train in Liverpool.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a Scouser, no offence, but I'm from where I'm from. I'm from Atherton, and I'll keep like representing Atherton.
Was you speaking to the guys over there? Was your your teammates? Because you were representing the UK. There was 4 of you at the time.
There was more than 4. There was about 6 or 7 of us, I think, from the UK. Yeah, from the UK. See, Paddy and Molly, they're not my teammates. Till is my teammate. So yeah.
So I've never met Till. I'd like to one time and do an interview with him. But I was shocking for him, really.
He had a bad performance, but you know that's just what goes down. He had a lot of issues. I don't want to speak for him. Do you know what I mean? He had a lot of issues going into the fight and stuff, and
a few injuries, maybe.
Yeah, stuff like that. But I'm sure he'll come out and say it himself one day or whatever.
So was he teammates? I wasn't even.
Me and Till have known each other for a long time, like 10 years plus, something like that. 12 years possibly since we were kids. So yeah, me and Till are good friends. So
do you believe he'll come back from that?
I do. I think. I don't want to speak on his behalf, like I say.
It's just your.
Yeah, I think Till when he's on his day, he can beat anybody, and I truly believe that. If you watch like his fight with Kelvin Gastelum, if you watch his fight with Stephen Thompson in Liverpool here when they fought the Echo, he is brilliant. But I think he just needs to get right first. He's got injury problems. I think he needs to just find where he's at and build up a little bit, as opposed to. See, the thing is with Till, he's such a massive draw. Like, he's never too far away from a title shot. Yeah. And he got a couple of really big wins, like, really early. And I think they pushed him maybe a little bit too quick. I don't know.
It's like, I think he's like Paddy Pimblett. This is Paddy the Baddie. That was his debut fight, wasn't it? It was incredible.
So much hype, yeah. I get like, people coming up to me, like, people recognise me and stuff. Most of the time, they ask about Paddy. Like, so he's got a lot of hype behind him. And, like we were talking about before, you just got to be yourself, I think. And if you're comfortable with that, go for it.
That was So I mean, Paddy went out there and destroyed that kid.
Yeah.
And he's one of these kids that can take a few.
He can.
Before he gives.
Not my.
But there you can't.
Not my fighting style personally. Defense first for me. Yeah, but that people like that, don't they? The fans like that.
And that's what I think he was like that. Conor was like that. Conor McGregor, where he was quite open about what he was going to do to his opponents. Yep. You know, he's struggling now. You know, he's not winning.
It's a big fall, isn't it? It's a big fall.
It's a big fall, especially when you're on that pedestal.
Yeah.
You know, when I wish him all the best. I've interviewed Paddy. I like Paddy a lot, and I hope he goes far. I really do. Molly, I think the world of Molly, and I hope she does really well.
Yep.
Darren, I don't know Darren. I was felt quite sad at his loss, even though I've had nothing to do with him. I felt, you know what, mate, it was, you could see it. he wasn't even in that fight. I'm just as a member of the audience, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, I fucking fell for him.
Yeah.
With yourself, it was like, I was proud of like the fact that you were representing the heavyweights.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, mate. What a
See, the thing is with Till, he's like, even if he has a bad training camp, whatever, he can always pull it off, Till, because he's very mentally strong. Like, and his skill set is unbelievable. But I think he just needs to get a few things. I'm sure he's going to get it right and come back. I'm sure of it. You know what I mean? He can be champion 100%, Till.
Oh, I believe that. But who's in your way for the title?
Oh, there's a lot of people in my way. A lot of fucking scary guys, to be honest with you.
Are these all like over in the States though?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So you've got to like compete against
a lot of Americans.
Loads of Vegas fights then coming up.
I hope not. To be honest, there's a prospect I've heard.
Liverpool?
Yeah, of like a Liverpool or maybe a London or something like early next year. So
I've seen that on Twitter. UFC is bringing it to Liverpool. You were in the picture with a few others.
So I'm waiting out for that.
There was Mark Diakasi, because there wasn't that many people on that map.
Yeah.
Different parts of the UK.
Yeah.
Mark Diakasi from Doncaster, yourself representing Liverpool.
Don't know about that. No, but yeah, I want to fight in a UK show, because the thing is I've got like a weird thing now. Is I've had 4 UFC fights. Yeah. I've never fought in front of a crowd yet because of this COVID stuff. So I fought twice in Abu Dhabi, twice in Vegas, and the last Vegas fight there was like 200 in. Yeah. And it felt like it was packed. You know what I mean? I want it with 20,000, because I don't, said this in like previous interviews and stuff, I don't know how I'll react to 20,000 people watching. I don't know if I might crumble. Who knows? I don't think I will, but I don't know because I've never done it. So before I like start stepping up to the top 5 and stuff, I need to have a fight with like 20,000 people for sure. Like I need to see what that feels like.
You need to that atmosphere. It's got to be incredible.
I want to fight in the UK. That's where I want to fight, but. Obviously, if that's not available, but now they've opened travel and stuff, haven't they, between the US and the UK? So we'll see what happens going forward.
I tell you what, though, Liverpool's got a good few gyms that are representing. You got the Four Corners. You got John Gillies doing his little bit. You got Teen Kaboon.
Yep.
Next Gen.
Yep. A lot of good gyms in Liverpool. Liverpool is it's mad, isn't it? If you're from Liverpool or surrounding areas, you're very lucky that there's so many good gyms, because you can take your pick these days. You can take your pick. You go in a gym and there's a UFC fighter in.
I think Dean Garnett's got one.
Dean Garnett's got one. Yeah. He's got a great kids program actually. From what to be honest, I don't really follow MMA much. No. I know that sounds odd, but I just get a bit sick of it.
Yeah, see, for me growing up, right, there was no such thing as MMA or UFC. It was like fucking karate, right? Bruce Lee,
or boxing,
judo, or boxing. Yeah, and for me, it was like I joined a karate club and I was doing Kion Kata for a few years. I wasn't only because of fucking Bruce Lee and Enter the Dragon. That was quite popular. Yeah, as a kid. I don't know what happened. I don't think it was any fucking good on it, but I ended up getting involved because it was for me. My dad was a boxer. Well, he said he was. He used to have all the ringside magazines, and he bought me a punch bag when I was about 5. I remember that it was a fucking Christmas present. I always wanted to impress him, and I thought if I did a bit of boxing, he'd kind of show a bit more love to me. So I boxed. He showed more attention. I didn't need that, and I kind of found myself pretty okay at it. I wasn't incredible. I wasn't, a fantastic boxer. I could have went a little bit further. But I had more street fights than I did ring fights. Yeah. Fought in, the household. I fought in school. I fought on the prison landings. I fought in, fucking hell. The biggest fight I ever fought was with myself. Yeah. And I would feel and I would react and I would respond. And now, you said it earlier on, and I think we grow up and we become aware. It's like our friends, we change but they don't. They're still doing what they're doing. They're still, not going to school, but they're going to work in dead-end jobs, and they're going to the pub. Yeah. They're going to school, to the youth club. That's their life, that's their cycle. Yeah. And then, before you know it, they'll be in a obituary, RIP. Whereas us, we're extremists. We want to fucking do something different. We want to strive for bigger and better things. We want to provide. I want to provide for my family. I want to give them a better life. My dad had nothing to give me. He left me nothing. My mum, bless her, she brought 6 of us up on her own, virtually. So it was a different generation to what we've got today. And I think it's important that there's, you know, families out there, you've got young children, you know, they're important. They're our future. You know, so we're there to make sure they're on the right path.
Yeah.
We don't give them choices. No, they make their own, don't they?
Yeah.
Really?
No, I agree. I completely agree. And the thing is, you never... See, I've come across, I think, that I've kind of grown and I'm still learning loads. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so much to learn, isn't there, in this stuff?
Is,
And I don't think you never stop, do you?
No,
Like,
you
you
don't.
still should imagine people in the 50s. I don't know, a lot of like the older generation, they seem like a bit of a closed book, don't they?
Yeah. There was no such thing as mental health back then, was there? Let's say, like, when I was there wasn't acknowledged anyway.
Yeah.
What we got told was like, oh, he's a schizophrenic, or he's round a bend.
And that's it, they're just nuts.
Yeah, simple. My brother was he was called, he had an handicap, right, or a disability. Now it's recognised as autism, right? I didn't know what the fuck autism was until about 5 years ago. To be fair,
yeah,
I never would have. You know, now every kid's got autism. You know, you can't even go down the road and someone says, yeah, he's on the spectrum. He's struggling with fucking ADHD or something. So everyone's getting labels attached to them.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I think that to be me, this is I'm strong about this. Really, I really feel passionate about this. I think there's too many labels on people, right, without really identifying the problem. Now, for me, you know, I've been through fucking hell. I've been shot. I've been stabbed. I've been fucking body parts bit off and everything. I think it was a lifestyle and it was a consequence of my behaviour. It wasn't because he had a mental illness. I probably had like a fucking, you know, a craving for a substance. But you take that away, and I believe that I can deal and cope with life, clear-minded, you know, with the right people around me. Have you ever had any struggles where you've had that kind of, you've been on your own and you felt like there was some kind of mental problems going on?
Not really. I think everyone has a certain degree of. I'm an anxious guy. I don't like you say, I don't like to put a label. I'm suffering with anxiety. Do you know what I mean? I've got anxiety. No, I'm just.
It's a feeling.
Yeah, I'm just anxious sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think most people are. Do you know what I mean?
But you don't come across with anxiety, like you come across quite confident.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Although that's good because I don't. It's hard to say how you come across yourself in it, but yeah, I think a lot of people struggle, don't they? Especially like these days with the phones and all that. It's the worst thing they could ever do, and I'm really guilty of it myself. We sat there on my frigging phone all day.
You know what, right, Tom? It's a pet hate. I tell you what is a massive pet hate as well. People who drive and then you know.
Yeah, they're on the phones. Yeah,
they're on the phone, and maybe years ago I wouldn't have thought about it, but now that you've got kids, you think about it. You know, kids crossing the road, and you know, families. You know, and how irresponsible and dangerous it can be. But yeah, I'm guilty. The phone, I was saying this to me missus the other day, and Mark Scannell said to me as well, he said an hour. He even said it on the podcast that we had. He said, look, Bill, what I do now is I'll have an hour of the day to save, basically, and do what I need to do, me work, promote stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He said, then I spend the rest of the time with my family and, you know, and I engage. And I feel that, like, I need to do something like that myself because it becomes an extension of me.
Yeah,
hand,
it's one of my worst habits.
Yeah,
I've got a lot of bad habits, but that's a particularly bad one. Is I don't know if it's too much. See, my missus was telling me this thing is like people's mental health was miles better like before phones and that and before all kinds of stuff like radio, newspapers, and all that, because your mind is only supposed to take in so much information per day, and it's like. See, for me, it's like I wake up, first thing I do, I'm looking at my phone. It's like my mind is not even awake yet. Do you know what I mean? I'm learning all this stuff, and I'm not even woke up. Like, how can you?
I think we're all guilty, right? We're all guilty of chasing the likes, chasing the comments, scrolling up and down.
Definitely.
Throwing smiles on when we're not really smiling. We're not really. We're just doing it for the sake of it. Yeah, we are all really guilty, and I see that, and I think. There's a few lessons that need to be learned from this. Yeah. I kind of adopt a different kind of way of living.
It's the worst thing they could have done, I think, is putting like internet on your phone, in my opinion, because I can say that I'm addicted to it. Do you know what I mean?
What about your kids?
What do you mean? What about them?
Phones, are they just as bad?
No. Well, they're not old enough though. Yeah. But then I worry, like, when they get older. That's something that worries me about, like, where I'm living right now is, and this country in general, really. Like, the weather's so bad, and there's nothing really to do. Like, I want my kids to have, like, an outdoor lifestyle, you know, live as kids. Yeah. He's like going out, doing stuff, activities outdoors, and I don't know about other places, but where I live, there's nothing like that to do. And I'm scared he's like, they've got nothing else to do apart from sit on the phones or sit on their iPads or the, you know,
some
Xbox
people,
or whatever.
Some people will say, oh, yeah, at least we know where they are.
Yeah.
Right? And I've heard that before. But what I see is like the lack of social interaction.
Yeah, but where are they mentally?
Yeah.
Do you know where they are mentally? Because even my kid is like 5, and he's watching, like, he can work an iPad now, you know what I mean? And we let him on the iPad a little bit here and there, not like he's not on it all day. And I catch him watching, like, zombie stuff and all that, and you're like,
oh, yeah.
you just turned 5, you can't watch like that. But, you know, he can work it, so, you know, you're watching the video, and then down the side, the YouTube videos, so he's obviously just clicking on them. Yeah. And it's like, you can't do that. And yeah, it's scary, isn't it, for the next generation, because it's phones now. What's it going to be in 20 years? We don't know. No. Like, there's going to be information everywhere, isn't there? And it's probably quite scary, really.
Yeah, it's you see kids like walking around with the phones in their hand constantly. They go to toilet with it, you know. Especially in my house, they do anyway. Yeah. You know,
I'm really bad for it. I need to change it myself. I do try and, like, the other night, Instagram went down, didn't it, on WhatsApp and that for like 6 hours, and I was like, hell, what do I do?
It's not personal.
Yeah, I was pissed off. I'm gonna smash the phone. I didn't know what to do. Yeah, it's just odd, isn't it? We rely on it so much, but you're lost without it, aren't you? I don't know. It's weird. I need to stop it myself. Like, it's a bad habit, and I need to try and cut down on it myself.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure there's some kind of like fucking self-help group out there.
Yeah,
that support you.
Hey, for a bloody phone. Yeah,
fucking phones anonymous. But yeah, so going forward with your future. Right, what are your plans?
My plans are, don't get hit that much if I can help it. That's a big thing for me, honestly. I don't want to be getting hit all the time.
Did you feel that in your last fight that was you confident you were going to win it, or was you like?
I'm always confident.
Yeah.
You know what? I know that I've got the skills to beat anybody, and I know that's sounds pretty cocky, but I think if you've not got that mindset, what you're doing? Fighting in the top 10 in the world, like, you're just not going to get anywhere. See, my last fight, I actually hate that opponent. Not personally, I hated his style, because he's got the kind of style where he doesn't do nothing flashy. He looks kind of sloppy a little bit, but he just and he's really durable. So he just like leans on you and exhausts you and beats you later in the fight. And I just didn't want none of that. I just did not want none of it. So. But to answer your question, going forward, was that's what you asked me, weren't it?
Yeah. Just what's your future got in store?
I just got to get more experience for right now before I fight for a title. So I want to just gradually move my way through. I'm aware that heavyweights mature a lot later than the lighter weights. So usually heavyweights mature between 35 and 40. I'm only 28, so I only want to be getting up there like in a few years, you know, like my early 30s. So for right now, I just want to beat the other 10 people in front of me. That's what I want to do. I don't want to fight for a title just yet, because I'm not going to win.
So what about when's your next fight?
I don't know. I've broke a little bone in my hand here, so I can't actually punch just yet.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be able to punch next week. So I'm hoping early next year, probably something like that. Looking like early next year, because all the top 10 or top 15 even, they're all like matched with one another in the next 2 months. So it's unless one of them pulls out, it's quite rare that they're going to fight again before the end of the year. The heavyweight division moves quite slow in comparison to other divisions, so I would say probably early next year, something like that.
So we're coming to the end, right, of this podcast, and I always say this, Tom.
Go on.
Right, is there any pearls of wisdom, anything you'd say to a young Tom Aspinall coming through the doors of life?
Yeah, I would tell myself to don't take it too serious and just enjoy myself. Something that I've only just discovered. That's what life's all about, is enjoying it. Because when I was young, I used to take everything very serious. Like, I wasn't very confident in myself, and I thought that's how you get stuff done, is by being mega serious, and it's just not. It's just not. I've had a couple of close people, unfortunately, like over the last few years. Not close, like really, people I've grown up with and stuff like that. One like killed himself recently, like last year, and you just kind of realise that you're not really here for very long. You know what I mean? You die, and the world keeps going round, and before you know it, you've forgotten about. So try and enjoy it while you're here. That's what I'd tell. That's what I'd tell any young person.
And I agree with you, mate. We're blessed with a few short decades.
Yep.
And make the most of it.
That's the one.
You either get busy living or you get busy dying.
Exactly.
That's it. So, what is it that you've got on your t-shirt here? Vitality CBD Active.
Oh, big shout out Vitality CBD. Yeah, I'm sponsored by a CBD company. You know what? They're. I'm an anxious sleeper, or I was, until I discovered CBD.
Have you used it yourself?
Yeah, I use it myself. I actually started off using it myself. And
it hasn't got THC in it?
Doesn't have THC in. Doesn't have THC in.
Wow, shit then.
Yeah.
What the fucking real
You
deal,
can
like?
actually. I don't know if you can or not.
I've
I
had
don't
it
think you can.
I've had it before, so I'm full blown THC, and it used to weigh me out. But that was when I was diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that. That'll do
I
you
was
in.
floating a few times.
Yeah, you don't. But yeah, it helps me sleep. It helps me sleep for sure. It shuts the. I used to like struggle sleeping. I used to kind of not just crack on with my day. I'd get in bed, and then it would just be like a million thoughts, and I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, I like that, mate. I struggle to sleep anyway still.
And now, have you ever tried CBD?
No.
Like, it doesn't really. You don't feel any like immediate difference.
I don't know. You know what it is for me, right? I'm in a recovery program where I remain totally abstinent from
Right, okay.
moods and mind altering chemicals, and I attach CBD to cannabis. So for me to take that, I don't know whether I'll break out and a reaction where I want more of something different. So I've got to be careful. But that's the only problem for me. Otherwise, I'd be fucking snorting it.
I don't think you would, because it's only. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a CBD expert, but it doesn't. You don't feel like any high or anything like that. You don't feel no difference. So are you even against like weed and stuff like that?
Yeah. So
I
don't
do nothing.
No,
right.
No, so
drinking.
No.
Right.
So I'm when I say total abstinence, the most I'll have is a fucking paracetamol.
Right.
If I've got an headache.
Yeah.
Drink loads of water. I haven't had a bevy for years.
Fair play.
And that's only because like my history tells me that like I can't.
And you got an addictive personality.
I've got a massive addictive. I end up in fucking handcuffs and prison sentences.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, so for
It's
me,
not good.
I wish I could. I
Yeah.
do. I think I watch like people having a glass of wine and put it down and go, oh, I've had enough. Fucking, I wish I could do that. I'd finish the bottle, then I'd want to go out and see. So I don't know. I'd like to think in the future. I was thinking about going on that ayahuasca at one point with James English. He invited me to Peru with 3 other guests that he had. It would have been a bit of a fucking nightmare, but the guests that he was bringing as well. And
really?
They're all really fucking undesirables, half of them anyway. And I said, yeah, we'll go. It'll all be paid for, Bill. And I was like, fucking planned it and everything. Then I told someone about it. He said, no, Bill, that's actually fucking hallucinogenics that you're going to be taking.
Yeah.
And it might be a bad experience for you. You don't know where it's going to take you. So I'm glad it fell through, because sometimes I say to things because it sounds great. Fucking flight to Peru and a fucking 5-star hotel and on the beach.
So did he do it, this fella?
James?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it.
How did he get on?
He said he fucking changed his life. Don't know how it changed his life, but he said he had a few positive experiences. But I don't know.
I wouldn't know. Never done it.
No.
But it does interest me.
It's always. I mean, you've done it recently. I spoke to someone. They said he enjoyed it. Yeah, Ken Wright, Lawrence Ken Wright. He owns.
I'm not sure he is, to be honest.
Well, he's like the big developer in Liverpool.
Right.
Signature Living and what is it? He's got them big hotels anyway. Dixie and the Shankly.
Right.
He owns them too. He said he just come back from doing that and he enjoyed it.
Right.
So yeah, it's alright for some.
I'd like to do it maybe when I've retired, because I think I've kind of found a sweet spot with my mentality at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, for me fighting and stuff, and I want to keep in that because it's going good.
So I read something about it. Right, it's quite therapeutic, I believe. Right, and it's something called hormesis. Now, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That's basically what hormesis or hormesis. And maybe I'm saying it wrong, but it's on that line of things. And it's like poison into your body, and kind of that's how you fucking grow from it. I don't know.
Interesting.
I've stuck loads of poison in my body, mate, trust me. But yeah, Tom, it's been really incredible speaking to you, and I'm really grateful for you to come on. I'll put all your socials in the description and that. And yeah, good luck with your future, mate.
Thanks for having me, mate. Hopefully I'll be back here with a title belt one day.
You will
Stick it on the table. I will be.
We will be.
Thanks,
and with that, nice one, thank you.
Oh, nice one.